All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 28 of the Game Time Gents podcast. It is me, one of your co-hosts, Nardi, here with Fish and Zoltowski as always. Say hi, boys.
Hello.
And then we also have our first guest today. We have Mr. TooMuchTones himself, a.k.a. Tony. Tony is a, sports-wise, he's a fan of all things Cincinnati. He's a Bengals fan, which we won't hold against him. And he's also a season ticket holder for FC Cincinnati. He's going to be allied here with Zoltowski a little bit, being a fan of that team up north, unfortunately. So,
hey, go blue.
You guys can go ahead and have your little alliance there.
Go blue.
A little background with Tony and us. Tony went to high school and college with Fish and I. We played football together, and we've remained pretty good friends since then, being in a couple of fantasy football leagues together. And then Tony, a couple years ago, also picked up streaming, where he gained traction on Facebook Gaming, Kick.com, and Twitch.tv. And I do have your follower numbers here if you want me to go through these.
Break it down for us.
Tony ended up with, on Facebook Gaming, at 1.4K followers. On Twitch, he had 126. And then on Kick.com, he had 330. So welcome to the show, Tony. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Thank you. It's the warmest welcome I may ever get in my life. So glad to be on, guys.
Good, we're glad you're here. And then
glad to have you.
In this week's show, we're just going to go over some, league news, and Fish has some news to go over with, Zoltowski has some news to go over about the Yankees' new beard policy. Then we're going to have a quick interview with a streamer, which is why Tony's here. And then Tony's actually going to join us for our trivia time segment, or Who's That Dude segment here. And then we're also going to have a little draft at the end here, draft the biggest draft bust of all time. So without further ado, Zoltowski, why don't you start off with that news, buddy?
Yeah, so the Yankees have always been known for their players not having facial hair. They're not allowed to. It's been a rule for, I think, since the club's been founded, correct, Fish? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That rule's been up for at least 49 years is where it stood, and then obviously it broke the other day. So.
Yeah. So now they're allowed to have well kept. So none of this bull crap or like the wild playoffs beards that you see, which is just an interesting thing. This has been around, this organization, for, like Fish said, 49 years, a long time. I've seen a lot of comments about how it kind of breaks that organization's reputation for being like just upper class, kind of like well organized, well kept. How many championships do they have? I know you know it off the top of your head, Fish.
27, but
27.
I mean, who's counting?
I'm
not.
Yankees
But
are
it's been a while.
counting.
It's been a while. Look,
it has.
They were a clean kept team. That's
Yep.
what it was. Is that they were clean. They wanted everything to be nice, presentable. Like you said, it was kind of like being a Yankee back then meant something. Nowadays, it's just you play good one season, you're like, yeah, $400 million, here we go. So it's just a different time now. So,
do you think Babe Ruth had anything to do with that original rule? I know he didn't have facial hair, but we all know what he did outside of the clubhouse.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Mantle, and really the only stand-up guy was DiMaggio. But I don't know, man. You look at a lot of the greats that you had back then. I think this is a good thing for the organization, right? We've seen these guys go from big beards, dreads, whatever it may be, come into the organization. They look like a whole different person. Which again, it's fine. It's part of the brand. It's part of the what it has. I think the Yankees are in such a rut right now, and they're trying to shake something up, right? They've got the good players in. We lost Soto last year. It is what it is. But I think this is just kind of like, it's almost that mini Babe Ruth curse right now. I'm not saying it's the Babe Ruth curse, but there's some type of curse out there where they do really well during the regular season. They haven't really overpaid on players in a while. I mean, the money that they do throw around, Garrett Cole and a few others, they've earned their keep there. They've earned those contracts. But now I think it's time to get a little shake up. Maybe you get players kind of getting more comfortable with themselves. I know Garrett Cole had a beard coming in. A lot of these guys had beards, and I don't know about the whole tattoo stuff. Obviously, they're probably not going to be able to showcase much of that, but at least they're trending in the right direction. Kind of hopefully shake up the locker room a little bit, kind of get everybody back into that relaxed position demeanor that they were previously in before they came. 15 years of baseball, and then all of a sudden you go to one team, you're going to change your whole attire. Could throw off players. Not saying it's a huge issue, but the little things count. So, yeah, it's. I mean, this is a rule that's been around for 49 years. We didn't think it was ever really going to change. It's not like a huge deal, but it's a good trend in the right direction. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we break a little curse. Maybe go a little playoff ski, little run ski there. But who the hell's going to beat the Dodgers' $12 billion salary cap they got going on? So I mean, they're buying players left and right. I'm like, this is Magic Johnson and his boys are doing something right. So it's crazy. Front loading contracts, back loading contracts. They got all this money somewhere. I don't understand it.
Yeah. So just a quick little background on this. So the owner Steinbrenner and the manager Billy Martin, they were the ones that introduced it back in '76. It was influenced by Steinbrenner's military background, because he served in the Air Force as a second lieutenant and attended Culver Military Academy in Indiana, which I've actually been to. Fun fact, and Liz worked there for a summer, and Alex used to work there as well. It's wild. But so they're hoping, because his son is the one who reversed it, so they're hoping it would change. It would help the team evolve with the times. And there's only been one Yankees player with a full beard on their on a trading card since '76, and it was Thurman Munson. I remember hearing about this because he got traded like before he could shave, and they like made it. So they like basically put his head on a Yankees player, and he had the full beard.
That's hilarious. That'd be a good card to get. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, but that's all I got on that. I just thought it was a fun little tidbit. I do have one more baseball tidbit I sent you guys earlier. I don't know if you saw it. So back, this has always been fun to me. Whenever the Phillies and the Pirates played, you had their logos, and then you had the score in between them. And when the game started, until someone scored a run, it was a poop game. Well, boys, the poop games are no more. They have changed the score bug, and I think we can all say that we will miss the poop games.
They didn't go to the Netflix Super Bowl score bug, did they?
And it's just your generic three initial.
PHI is playing against.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the team's colors. So it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like the Super Bowl one. That was just
awful,
rough.
Yeah.
The outcome was great, but everything else is bad about it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But that's happy with that outcome. So
all the news I had, just a couple fun points and interesting changes to share.
Good changes. Good call.
The only piece of news I have is the Myles Garrett rumors are gaining a little bit more traction. He recently was named the second best player in the entire league, according to Pro Football Focus, regardless of position. So really great that the Browns are just going to kick him to the curb. It's awesome that they're just going to release him. Teams that have been linked to him so far are Bills, Eagles, Bears, and Lions. So two of you guys should be pretty happy about that. He's going to completely change your entire defense, your entire pass rush. Now, the funny thing is the Cleveland drama has actually extended outside of the football realm. I know you guys don't watch, but I like to watch WWE. I watch Monday Night Raw every week when the football season is not going. So there was a week when they were in Cleveland. It was like February 3rd. It was that Monday. And one of the wrestlers were cutting a promo, Kofi Kingston, in the middle of the ring. And he was just getting booed and stuff because that's his character. And then he had the audacity to just come out and say, yeah, well, we can't wait to get out of Cleveland just like Myles Garrett. So just it's well known across a lot of sporting different realms that Cleveland unfortunately remains the punching bag for the NFL and beyond. So times are tough. Times are tough to be a Cleveland fan, but hopefully we get some good draft haul for him if he is leaving. Hopefully he goes and wins a ring somewhere and we can build for the next years going forward. So who knows, but
just take a loan out and buy the team.
Yeah.
Just so you can do what you want with it.
No, I would
just come on.
I would love to just make the Haslam sell the team. I don't know who would buy him, but Tony, before we go into your interview, do you have any sort of news or anything you'd like to talk about? Any FC Cincinnati news?
No, well, the MLS season kicked off within the last. Well, I guess it was like couple weeks ago at this point. Um, FC Cincinnati has they started out their season playing in the CONCACAF Champions League. They're playing some team in Honduras, and they put a 4-0 whooping on them. And what was even nicer is, FC Cincinnati shoved out a lot of coins this off season to get attacking players and really building a dynamic offense, which we kind of struggled with last year. So they brought in he was a runner up to the MVP, one of the runners up last year with Seattle, or no, Portland Timbers. His name is Evander. He scored and had an assist. We got another guy. He was the Golden Boot winner from one of the European leagues. He's already scored twice in 2 games, so it's pretty exciting. The first home opener was on Saturday, and it was pretty cold. It was definitely pretty cold. I think it was around 25-ish by the time the game wrapped up. So it was pretty cold, but that's what you get when you start the season in February. So
Tony,
we'll be back at it on Wednesday.
Is that forward still playing with you guys, the little guy?
No, dude. No. Oh, no. This takes some time here. There's a whole saga. With last year, the end of the season, they kind of get knocked out. We got knocked out early to the New York Red Bulls. And Acosta, he's the captain. He was the guy MVP during the Supporters Shield season. He kind of at the end was like, "Hey, I'm wanting out of Cincinnati," and that took a lot of people by surprise because we were winning, we just kind of fell short a little bit. So he was wanting to get out. He wanted to go down to Argentina, where he's from originally, and that's where his family is at, and he just wanted to be a little bit closer to home. So he pretty much forced his way out. Long story short, and now he's playing for FC Dallas. So we'll see him in May.
Quick question: that's not in Argentina, though, right? It's in Dallas, still in the States, right?
Correct. Yeah. He never went to Argentina.
Got it.
They didn't, honestly. What I've heard, and MLS news is pretty sparse. A lot of rumors. You don't really know it's true. They didn't want to pay him enough, and so that's why he kind of settled. What was that?
What was his contract that he was asking for? Do you know, or do we know at least?
I think we sold him for $12 million to FC Dallas. So he was kind of wanting around that.
Yeah.
He's kind of wanting around that number, which, I think the club would have paid when he's saying he's unhappy at that point. What do you do?
Right.
It seems like he got a couple guys to fill in the spot anyway.
Yeah.
He was good when we watched him play. Being 5'3", being able to do the crazy things that he could do. He was a good ball player. But I think he got some additional pieces there. It's great.
Yeah. He was a game changer, and I'm not gonna lie. When we were there on Saturday, I was watching, and the team just didn't have that same spark. It was cold as shit. But also they were missing an element, and then they found it in the second half. But yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent about it. I'm sad that he's leaving. He was the captain, but then on the other hand, like maybe he has to go to make room for other good things. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm excited to see. We'll go out to a few games this year, Andy and I. Of course, if Messi's in town, we're running on the pitch. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. I heard about the rumors. Obviously, he left. He's gone. It is what it is. But it seems like you guys got a little bit more dynamic with the additional players that you have. And it seems like it's almost a AFC Richmond kind of thing. You get rid of one and then you pick up a couple, Danny Rojas in there, stuff like that. So definitely excited to see what they can do. I mean, you guys have been a hot team, for a few years now. So expecting big things unless Inter Miami comes in, then gotta hear from Messi and stuff. But
Best team money can buy.
some would say, some would say,
like Man City of sorts.
yeah, there was no Man City out there. I had close to it. Like when David Beckham's your owner, I mean, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
At this point, you can do what you want. So,
Hall pass.
no, it'll be a good season for you guys. It'll be a good season. So, I'm excited to hear and see and be in the atmosphere again. I went to Columbus Crew game last year to see Messi play, and we were in the trenches with the rest of them. I mean, it was something. It's definitely it gets a little rowdy, so it was a good time. So hopefully we'll meet up at one of the games or whatever, and we'll be down in that section too. I wouldn't mind cheering for a little bit and then going back to the proper seats. So, but it'll be a good time. I'm excited for it.
I'd definitely like to hit up a live soccer game. That's one of the sporting events I haven't, other than obviously high school and all that stuff. But I mean, like pro soccer would be something I'd love to see live.
We saw Ibrahimovic play a few years ago, dude. It was sick.
You saw God himself.
Yeah, he did not move. He pulled a Shaq. Really stayed on one, like 30 yards, and that was it. That's all he did. But man, when he got the ball, he was crazy good.
Tony, how's the MLS set up? Is there like a salary cap and stuff? I know nothing about it other than the Ohio rivalry.
Yeah, there is a salary cap, and a lot of the complaints about Inter Miami is that they're kind of they've obviously exceeded the cap.
Yeah.
Getting Messi damn near $1 billion deal. With Apple. I don't know. I think some of it is they were able to offload some of his costs to companies like Apple. So they're shouldering most of the burden, and they're all mutually benefiting. So I guess that's kind of how they're making it happen. But yeah, there's a salary cap. It's interesting. There's a secondary league. It's separate than the MLS, but it's kind of gaining some traction. There's a lot more clubs around the country, and they're actually expanding. They want to do kind of an MLS caliber talent pool to kind of, and then at that point, the USL and the MLS could, maybe merge, or that would, and the benefit there is the USL is setting up a promotion relegation system.
Okay.
So like if the MLS fit right in, I mean, you could have a really, really strong, presence in the soccer world, I think.
I mean, that's something that they have missed, and we know that the MLS has failed numerous times, and we keep reviving it.
Yeah.
Tony, you and I have had this conversation plenty of times. Of it would be cool to see a relegation phase, right? There's another league underneath it where you get bumped down. It's kind of what we replicate over in Europe and such like that. I mean, with a lot of those guys getting older, I mean, think of the people that would pay to see a Sadio Mane or a Kevin De Bruyne come over here, make big bucks. I mean, those are players. I mean, we're lucky to see like Ibrahimovic and Messi come over here and trying to get tickets. I mean, you got it's outrageous. But I mean, even some of those other players that are not the massive human beings that they were. I mean, think of all those guys that are like, oh, okay, cool. I can kind of come over here and not go to the Red Bulls or LA or anything like that, where I can go to a sub league kind of coach and train. Then you're talking about developing your own Tony, what's the word? Academy. Developing your own academy system within some of these teams that now we can actually train, develop within, and promote within, instead of buying all these guys to come over here, which I mean is a good thing too. But somebody always loves to I mean, they do it over in Europe. They drop the kids off at 8, 9 years old, and then they're in their academy until they hit the pros. And if they hit it, they're great. If they don't, they're going back home. Some type of caliber type thing that I think we're missing over here. Plus, I mean, a lot of people compare the Brazilian footwork to what we have over here is more of a running gun type thing. Last couple of years, though, we've been watching FC Cincinnati. There's been a lot more, especially with the coaches coming over there, a little bit more centric around the art of passing and trying to get the ticky tacky stuff in between. You start to see a lot more teams do that now. So it's not so much kick it down the field, fastest guy go down there and get it, swoop it in. Now it's more set it up, passes back up to mid, then up to the left, cross it over. So now we're starting to see more of the European Brazilian style kind of come over here in translation there as well. So I mean, now is the bigger time than ever for MLS and this other group to kind of take the reins and really put the foundation down in the states and kind of make themselves known. I mean, if they can get another group over here and get a relegation thing going, then it's not so much like, oh shucks, we finished in last place. Guess we'll be in it next year. Now it's like, oh shit. Now this is big money that we could be losing. Now we're relegated, and stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting. I'm excited for it. I mean, it's about time. So I think a lot more people are getting behind it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's
soccer's
exciting.
just booming in popularity. So many kids have played it. So
It's the fastest growing sport in America.
yeah,
It's like it's about to bump, I don't know, baseball down or something. Maybe it was basketball. It's quickly shooting up in popularity.
well, awesome.
That's
Good insight. I never knew really anything about the MLS, but if they're getting a whole other league to promote and relegate, that's just more of what the European model has done. So hopefully they have success with it.
Yeah, and just imagine the purchasing power of the United States, getting behind it. If they truly wanted to set up a European model, I mean, with all the talent that's just between the two, between the two coasts, they can make something happen. Just got to get the right people interested.
Oh, 100%. I don't know. Maybe call it magic. Maybe he's buying players left and right. Why not buy it, from others? A couple teams, why not? He's got all that money to do it.
Sell off a few
So much
thousand
money.
fast food franchises who could buy a team.
Something like that. Him and Shaq.
I saw Shaq manage a team over a couple weekends ago. It wasn't great, even though they won. But anyways,
I was gonna say he had all the OGs, so
Yeah.
there was no way he wasn't winning.
that was an interesting All-Star weekend. But I think hockey did it right. NBA didn't do it right. That's for sure.
Hockey did it so right.
Yeah, hockey did it
the
right.
Four Nations face-off was, it's just fantastic. I mean, very upsetting finish, with America losing in overtime to the Canadians. But man, that was so fun to watch. I just feel maybe next year add in another nation or two. I know they called it Four Nations this year, but get Russia in there and there's got to be another one. I know we're having hockey's also on the upswing. They're saying that it's also taken over. I mean, the Four Nations face-off was the most watched hockey game ever. I think it was over 10 million people. And yeah, that USA Canada, it's kind of like it inspires almost that Olympic style competition. Because I specifically remember because I saw a ton of clips lately. In 2014 at Sochi, the Winter Olympics, when it was I think round one, USA went into a shootout and TJ Oshie scored 4 out of 6 goals. He just kept going because at it's though you have 3 shooters and then you can send anybody up, and they just kept sending him. And I remember being in Adrian, Michigan, at college, in the common room or where the cafeteria was, locked on the big screen TV watching that game for 3 hours.
Well, they got to get somebody to replace Canada. They're about to be State 51, so.
Hey, I mean, that means I just don't need a passport to go to the Pro Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto and go hit all those arenas.
There you go.
Sure.
So, it's whatever.
All right, but you guys want to get into the interview here with Tony?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, you are our first guest, which means you're our first interview. So, not really sure how this is going to go. We do have some questions lined out for you. But but we're really wanting to know, about your journey as a streamer. I know Zoltowski has streamed in the past, and he's going to stream again. I've been streaming more consistently lately, and I'll say right now, you are a person that's really pushed me to do that, because I know I was on the fence for a long time, and then you told me about a year ago, you're like, dude, just do it. Like, what's going to happen? Like, just hit the button. So I thank you for that. I've had a lot of fun doing it, but the first thing I want to ask you is, when you started streaming, what initially made you build up that courage to hit that go live button?
So it was actually kind of a journey, and it's where it all, it's where it all starts. This was right around when COVID was happening. I had my Nintendo Switch, and I booted up Fortnite, and I was playing it, and then I didn't even know streaming existed. I didn't know people shared their gameplay. I didn't know any of that. And because, before that, I really hadn't been into gaming, and, for years. I was in grad school, and I don't know what I was doing the the rest of the time, but just working in life and stuff. But yeah, it started. I found some streamers. There's two in particular. The first one, his name was Big Sween Dog on Facebook. He's just this older streamer. He was an adult. I thought only kids played Fortnite, so that was pretty cool. That kind of drew me in. And then he ended up raiding out to someone. His name is, it was Boss Dennis. And it's actually a funny story. He plays in the USL soccer. So I get to see a little bit of the USL soccer side. And, between matches and in between trips, he would stream his gameplay. He was actually really, really good. He's British, he's from Brighton, so that's always interesting for us Cincinnati, Ohio folk to hear odd accents. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, and I keep in touch with him too every now and again. And anytime he gets close to Cincinnati, I've gone to see him a couple times in Louisville. But anyways. He asked me to be his mod, so I was in the game for a while before I actually decided to hit the live button. I modded for about 2, and I was modding for this other guy, and he said, as a thank you, I want to give you an Xbox. And so at that point, I was still playing on the Switch. I was like, you can't give me a whole ass Xbox. Let me at least give you half. And he's like, okay. So, that was cool. And that allowed me the ability to stream. And, you just think about it. You're like, you start to think of yourself as a streamer and how you would approach things, if you were trying to entertain an audience. And it's kind of cool, but it's full of people who have imposter syndrome, and people are like, shoot, if anyone can throw a camera on and talk, like, I could do that. That's super easy. And it's really not. When you're streaming live, everything, all your thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything is on display. So it's and that's just the live portion. That doesn't even go into the preparation work or even all the stuff that you're doing technically to keep the thing looking good. So
Right.
It's a lot harder than people give credit for.
Yeah, definitely. I always enjoyed watching your streams. Every time you asked me to be a guest on your streams, I always had fun with that too. So I think you always did a good job with entertaining the chat and then also entertaining the person you were playing with. So I think if you ever wanted to make it a comeback, you could do that too. So
well, this is I did officially retire. I think it was in 2025. I don't know.
Once.
Yeah, so did Tom Brady.
That's true, dude. That's true. I mean, I could see it one day, if I got back into it, but even that last stream that I did, I hadn't streamed in like 6 weeks, and it felt like I'd never streamed ever. Like I forgot how to do it all.
Yeah.
And like the technology doesn't stop, but like I don't know, man. It's easy to fall out of, and yeah.
Yeah, dude, you have constant updates with not only games you're playing, but the software, and then, sometimes
Audio always goes out.
audio always goes wrong, and then it's sometimes just like, hey, Windows decided to flip every input you've ever had, like right before you're about to go live. So it's like, cool. Let me deal with that for 40 minutes and then figure out what's going on. Like, even for this today, I was prepping everything, and I switched my setup around just to make it a little more user friendly for myself. So I had my 32-inch monitor up here. I moved to portrait mode on this side just to have it so I can see all you guys while we're talking. And I don't know, I had 30,000 issues when it came to that. Like, I didn't get to do anything I wanted to do yesterday because I was dealing with that. And then today I was supposed to play games with Fish before we ever started recording. I'm like, dude, everything's messed up. I can't. I got to get this set. And I actually got everything set about 30 minutes before Zoltowski joined the call. So
right because all I did was tweak my Hanzo settings for an hour and then give up and play a game of Marvel Rivals. So I'll go ahead. You guys go ahead and ask if I figured out the settings for Hanzo.
You figured it out?
I did not.
There it is.
I did not figure it out.
At least you got Skyrim back.
Yeah, but I don't even think I want to play with them anymore. I think I might just be a support main going forward. I might hang up. I might pull Tony and retire. And then next week play Hanzo again.
Hey, just do it when you're on the top. What do you got to worry about?
Exactly.
He's on the
On top
right
was
now.
6 months ago. Dude, I'm so
retire
far on the
right now.
bottom.
Word cover.
But Tony, other than the two guys you mentioned, did you have any like big motivators in the streaming space other than those two fellas? Did you enjoy, like, I don't know, a big one for me has always been Tim the Tatman. I've always just really enjoyed everything he's ever put out. I think he's hysterical. So anybody like that, any streamers you've never really had a relationship with that was kind of a motivator for you?
No. And honestly, until it was like at least a year into the game that I even knew Tim the Tatman existed. It was kind of, that's kind of sad. But like, I really kept it to Facebook because, I didn't know. And I thought it was so cool. Like I thought it was cool that Facebook would have like these live videos and, you're in the comments section and it's rolling. Like that was just so cool and so novel. So, I got to know quite a few folks over, from those days. And honestly, that I've seen a lot of people who started in, 2020 and really hit it that summer. The ones that hit that period of time have excelled so much. That was the golden years of, definitely. Content creation. And now I think we're kind of on either the downslide or maybe just it'll change into something different. But I know a lot of streamers have, even the ones that have been doing it for a while, it's a challenging space to be in, especially if it's your main source of income. So, just dealing with the highs and lows that come from entertaining and, getting subs and all of that, it puts pressure on you. And that's even more so than for me. I was a part-time streamer. I'd try to keep it, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a day on the weekend, just to keep it manageable. But all the while your brain is just, churning out ideas of like, oh, I could make a post about this, or, oh, this would make a really cool reel, or, whatever. And
right.
It's easy to get obsessed and like just sucked in, just fully sucked in. So it takes its toll over time. And, I've seen a lot of the streamers that were doing really well, the Fortnite views have dried up. People are going to TikTok. They're not really, watching live streams as much anymore. Twitch is always going to be, its own thing. It's created a, its own ecosystem so it can survive. But,
right.
Facebook gaming, that got axed. Kick is, kind of struggling in the gaming department. So it's an interesting landscape to be in. Definitely changes, every all the time.
Yeah, Kick. Sorry, Zoltaski, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly a little upset that Facebook gaming got axed because that's where I started out on. Just because I had that, audience per se, I had friends and family who I talked to about it and could share it to very easily. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I had, fun. Like I was at work, I was working security at the time, so I didn't really do much. And I would think about, okay, hey, what game am I going to play? Like when Sekiro came out, I would stream that. And even if it was just a couple of my buddies watching, but like making that separate account so I could post for that, making the graphic and, for my channel, like some basic app that I found on, the App Store for free. It definitely, and that's what I think I'm afraid of personally going back into it because I have so much going on right now with, having the new kid and going back to school. So do you have any tips to kind of make that more manageable for someone who's looking to maybe either get into it or get back into it?
Yeah, I think, once you get out, anytime you go back in, you have to remember how it felt when you were, on the other side and not, really not feeling it. And then that way you can kind of moderate your, how much effort and it's not even just, the time itself. It's if you're putting out content that you're proud of, you're really like you're investing a part of your soul into it, and that's exhausting. That brings out, even a different type of exhaustion. But, I things that I've seen work really well, consistent schedules. Even if it's, depending on the game or whatever, that may influence it. But, if you did every other day at 8 p.m. and then over time it takes people to kind of notice the pattern and then be like, oh, it's 8 o'clock, I'm bored, my show doesn't come on till 8:30, I'm gonna bebop on and see what's happening, and a lot of times you'll be able to kind of spark that up and build the community. But I mean it's tough because once you've been in, it's easy to fall back into the patterns that maybe led you to think that it wasn't something that you wanted to do anymore. So it's tough. It's not an easy decision.
Yeah, Zoltowski, you got a lot going on right now.
A little bit.
Tony, I know we already talked about you streamed Fortnite a lot. Was there any other games you streamed, and what game did you enjoy streaming the most?
And this is why it's complex. I was so infatuated with Fortnite. Like I was so much in love with it. It was so fun to me. It was connection. During COVID, playing with other people, it really kind of helped battle some of the uncertainties, and so like I really, really enjoyed the game and I played Call of Duty growing up, but really through college, I didn't really play anything, so I like had missed a whole chapter of gaming, and so I felt kind of connected to it again, and it was just a fun game, to play with friends. So that's what I streamed the most, and you build the connections, and it almost becomes like you're a streamer, but you're a Fortnite streamer, and that allows other people to join your party and to do different things that other categories or other types of streamers they can't do, or even certain games, so that is a component of of gaming, how well it hits on your strengths, and Fortnite was fun and it was really popular, so that was the one that chose.
Epic Games does such a good job of keeping that game so like fresh and innovative. They're always adding new stuff. The map's constantly changing. Like I know Fish and I, at least, we played Warzone for a long time together, and it was just like, man, is this is this game ever going to get better? Like, especially the early Verdansk days where now everybody wants Verdansk back, but there was times where, man, that was just bone dry, it seemed like.
Do you guys remember when we were grinding ranked Rebirth?
I do remember that,
And
yeah.
just like
That was a good time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
Rebirth was
fun,
always fun because it was
but
high
at the same
intensity.
time, but at the same time, you had the meta guns. You had like, oh, you had to have this loadout.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have the variety like we're with Fortnite. I can run 3 different kinds of assault rifles if they're unvaulted and like heals and then movement, and still do fine. Or I can run all short range, like because I run SMG shotgun, and then like an AR of some sort. And I know Fish likes the snipers, so he gets the snipers. I just feel like to that point where it gets stale. Like it's fun, but then at a certain point where you hit that wall, especially when you're playing like a ranked mode. Now, granted, I haven't played a ton of Fortnite ranked, but still, the map's the same, but every game feels different because I know I'm never gonna get the same guns. I'm never gonna get the same. Maybe I'll get a mythic this time. Maybe I won't.
Right.
Well, the ranking system in Fortnite was a little bit more. And Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, right? And not you too, but I feel like it was a little bit more forgiving, um, where we fly in, we die off the rip, we're not losing 1600 SR, and we're been demoted twice. It took a while, even when we land and we hang out. Tony's got to go pee, so we can all go hang out in the hut for like 20 minutes, whatever it may be. Maybe we only walked out with a couple kills, placed 10th, but we're still getting that XP. We're still getting that SR towards the next ranking. Where COD, if you didn't pop off for 30 kills for a team
Yeah.
and finish top 3,
Yeah.
you weren't getting shit.
Once you
And
hit
that was
once you
early
hit like
on
diamond.
too.
Yeah, you're backsliding
Gold,
as well.
diamond, and then and the sweatiness. And Fortnite had its sweatiness too, but I think no, we made it up to what, platinum, or like the tier underneath.
I think we made it to
big
diamond.
one or whatever.
Yeah.
Did we? But I mean, not once was I like, okay, we have to sweat, we have to kill this team, run over there, fly to this guy, kill him. It wasn't like that. Whereas COD is, you gotta like, I remember my forearms used to hurt after like 12 hours of grinding. It's
Yeah.
like I talked to Kendrick Perkins. I was like, yo, who's your AT? I need help. I need some ice bags. Like it was nuts. But I think the Fortnite rank system is a lot better. I think Fortnite's just doing, like you said, incredible things, keeping everybody engaged. Everything's fresh. Where, yeah, COD, I know we all bitch and complain about Verdansk because all the hackers and stuff like that. Then they just produced a few years of shit, and everybody's like, man, you guys remember that Verdansk map?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
It was definitely the best big map
so-
that Call of Duty's released. So,
That's the only one I really played. I don't think I played the
we
Pacific.
tried Caldera, and it's just not.
Or called that's what it was called.
Caldera, Al Mazrah,
yeah.
and I can't remember what the most recent one was called.
No.
Uzbekistan or something.
Urzikstan.
Yeah, that's
I've only
right.
played that where like it's the smaller one where it's the Rebirth where it's smaller,
okay,
so it's not the whole map. I tend to play the small maps. I don't know. I feel like the Call of Duty Warzone map is probably like twice the size of the Fortnite map. It just feels like it's just massive.
Well, Fortnite's grown so much too ever since they brought in like the whole creative, like you can create your own game modes, your own maps, like.
And now it's connected with other games too. You got the Lego, you got the Rocket Racing, which is connected with Rocket League. Which the fact that that's included in the crew makes you want to play Rocket League again. Start that grind back up. You want to talk about a grind, boys?
Dude,
I hit plat 2 in doubles, and then diamond 2 in Rumble. That was my COVID game, was Rocket League. Especially when I had COVID, I played Rocket League for 14 hours one day, and it was fantastic.
I just could never get into that one, man. I don't know what it is.
Car soccer.
Dude,
I'm surprised you don't get into it,
man.
Fish.
I can't, like,
It's so technical.
fundamentally, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, cars flying, I don't know what to do anymore. It's like he's doing backflips.
Hey,
and,
just
like,
play goalie.
ridiculous.
Play goalie.
it brings out
it's
the
not
rage.
They brought the tournament. They brought the tournaments in, and then you're just like, oh, you always had that one friend who you love to death, but man, you're just hard carrying him.
Oh, so like every game we play with Nut.
Yeah, 100%.
And Nova.
Okay.
Shout out Nova.
Absolutely
Yeah,
no.
Nova. Yeah,
Uh,
Jesus.
When he
That guy
gets on.
makes me
Love
look
you,
like
buddy.
Ninja.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the resemblance.
Yeah. All right, Tony. So we talked about Fortnite a little bit. So when did you think you experienced the most growth when you were streaming? I know you said you started during the COVID time, so it was
Yep.
probably early on during the COVID.
Yeah,
times.
it really what I think helped my growth was being in, the Facebook gaming community and being like a known face. You bop over to different streamers and they get to know you. Then when you start streaming, they a lot of times they'll try to bless you, with a raid or get their followers to follow you. So that was nice and like that was the best of times. Like I don't know that in the like content creation world that really had existed prior to that. I think yeah, like you just missed the community aspect with Twitch. It just wasn't the same as Facebook, which is all integrated. So those were the good days. And then all things have a season, as they say, and I the actual first place that I got you know monetized to was Twitch, and the hardest thing is getting the viewers, the CCV, and maintaining the three person average. Um, that's tough for a lot of creators. That is the threshold that prevents them from moving forward. And I think once you hit that and once you get affiliated, that really opens. It feels legitimate at that point, and Nutter, you've achieved that. You've lived that too. So you know the feeling. It's very unique. It's not like anything else. And it's such a relief too. You can just, if you don't want to do a real high energy stream, you don't have to, but they're not going to take away your chance to be monetized and all your emotes and stuff. So
Exactly.
I-
Yeah.
Twitch does good, or they have done good for a lot of people. They kind of created the genre, but honestly, the place I see is just the gold standard is YouTube, with the YouTube Shorts and the ability to go live, have videos. I think that's one that's gonna be really self-sustaining for a long time. So that's my two cents on the state of streaming.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts
YouTube's. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on TikTok? Because when I doom scroll on TikTok, I see a lot of live streams, and there's a couple that I'll, especially if they're playing a game that I'm interested in, like something that's new or like single player games, catch my attention real quick, and I'll pop in. What are your thoughts on that platform for a streaming platform?
Yeah, TikTok has made a lot of people a lot of money. A lot of creators,
Yeah.
because there was a weird period where Facebook was failing and people were trying to decide, do I go to YouTube? Do I go to Twitch? Where do I go? And, I think they really kind of missed the boat. But, oh, shoot, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's the retirement. It's getting to you.
Dude, it's the retirement. It's all that gray hair that I got. Oh yes, sorry, TikTok. I think TikTok has really changed a lot of content creation. People who would spend 6 hours doing live streams cut back to doing 3 or 4, and then spending that time that they would be live streaming creating shorts and smaller bite-sized content. And so that has, a lot of creators really saw a lot of success on TikTok. Now, in my experience, I've never gone live there. I was considering it, and I think I even downloaded the software, but I never pulled the trigger. And just the atmosphere is so different, and it's different on every site. But like if you go into a Fortnite stream, you're gonna get little gremlins, ankle biters telling you that you are playing like a boomer. So like I'm like
I am a boomer. Leave me alone.
yeah, dude, I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to have fun. Let me be. So I think there's a different audience. Some people lean into it really, really well, and that kind of shows. And they're building building a true audience. But I think a lot of it could just be people passively scrolling, and so I think it all depends. I think it would all kind of boil back down to the community and the foundation that you've built. But yeah, I've always been kind of interested in the TikTok live streams because I personally didn't enjoy watching it on TikTok, like in that format.
Yeah, it's definitely different with it being the vertical instead of the horizontal. But just for a snippet, I've seen I've seen Tim go live on there. I think I've seen Queso, Jinxie, and I feel like they're using that as just another platform to get themselves out there, to draw them to, as they call it on TikTok, the purple app. Because they can't say Twitch.
Yeah.
But I just, that's definitely good points there. I appreciate your answer. So
yeah.
So from being in the space a little bit, I've been told and I've noticed myself that TikTok is the discoverability of the app. Like that's the place where people find you. That's the place where you can link it back to your Twitch. Well, your purple app or your green app or your red app, so that's interesting that you said that there, because it's like if people find you on TikTok and they like you enough, that's really where you can blow up. And I mean, even every time Tim, because I watch Tim a lot, every time Tim gets the question, hey man, any advice for new streamers coming up and all that stuff, and he's like, every time he says, just hit go live and TikTok. Post TikToks, you'll get the discoverability. You'll get people coming to your streams from that. So I think Twitch is still the best for live streaming. TikTok is the best for discoverability, but it's interesting what you said there about YouTube, because that's kind of got both of them in there. Like it's got the VOD storage on Twitch as well, but there's no real way to like search VODs on Twitch. Like there's not like a page where you can just go, oh, this guy played this one day, let me go ahead and check that out. Or there's just like there's just a tab on the YouTube channel where you can go past live streams and then watch full uncut VODs there. There's also the shorts aspect you were talking about. That's just like TikTok. So I think you're right. I think if YouTube streaming keeps doing what it's doing, and I know they signed a bunch of big streamers there for a while. Now, those streamers like Courage JD, Tim the Tatman, Ludwig, Valkyrie, they've all gone back to Twitch, and they're like multi-streaming now. So I think that's a whole new beast at that point. I don't even know how multi-streaming happens, or I'm sure there's some sort of software you download that's like an OBS plugin or something that
Streamlabs, I can tell you.
Streamlabs works.
OBS has it's integrated. You sign into all your stuff, and you click the ones you want to go live to, and you click the go live button.
Okay.
That's actually, but I think you have to pay for the premium for it, or you have to have, I think you have to have affiliate on Twitch or certain other statuses for that. But that's just what I've seen from my personal, using that instead of I know everyone uses OBS, but I discovered Streamlabs, so I used that instead.
Gotcha. Tony, do you have any experience multi-streaming on anything?
I did a little bit, and it's interesting because it gets into the technology aspects of it. I'm not an IT guy. I work in HR. I don't know about all that stuff. So when you push out your stream from OBS or Streamlabs, there's a key, and that's what allows you to just push it out directly. If you do a multi-stream, sometimes it can show as a non-native stream, and you fall out of their algorithm. So people who multi-streams, they may have low numbers across the board because the interface is unsure of if they're actually, streamers and a real person, or, what's going on. So I've seen it. If you have an established, a giant audience that are going to be there no matter what, wherever you're at, they'll find you. Yeah, multi-streaming is definitely the key. If you're just pushing it out into the abyss and, not really reaching anybody, you may be better specifying one over the other. But that's just kind of my flavoring of what I've seen, just from different streamers, and even seeing it myself. I would stream on Kick and Twitch, and both would kind of suffer. It's a completely integrated chat, so there's the only thing that could be different is the background, and you not being pushed forth through the algorithm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess the last question we have here for you, and then we'll go to Who's That Dude. So I know you probably haven't messed with this much on Facebook because those profiles are going to be linked to their actual profile pages, if I'm understanding that correctly. Do you have any experience with like any wild stories about any crazy viewers or anything in your life, in your streaming career, other than myself, of course?
No, dude, never you. Maybe Fish, but never you. Right. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it. I'm surprised he's not like...
That's a believable thing.
You're probably in HR training like, yeah, I have this one story about this one guy I know.
Dude, he's made me a rich man. I've just done case studies of him stirring the pot.
Yeah, I witnessed it today.
Oh, man.
That's wild.
Call him Gordon Ramsay, dude. He is all over that.
I didn't have to eat lunch. I filter feed off the drama. It was great. Oh, gosh, fantastic.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of drama in the content creation space. There is a tendency to pick up weirdos and some strange cats in your chat. And those are the ones that, they kind of linger a little bit. Like, they're there. You're like, you may not be feeling the vibe necessarily, and you're being polite. Always, you're always being polite, but they just keep pushing the envelope. You'll get those from time to time. A lot of it, honestly, is the other streamers and the stuff that they come up with. Just like little turf wars almost. And I love the drama. I love it a lot. I don't like being a part of it, but I like knowing about it.
You like watching it from afar.
Yeah, I like watching it all happen, and I've seen people stealing stealing husbands or wives of other people. Jeez. Like, just the wildest shit, death threats, and all these things, and I'm like, dude, this is. It's a strange space. Luckily, I never really had to deal with that too much myself. There was one time I was co-streaming with a guy, and he had taken mushrooms before, and the deepest dab that ever was, and he was lost in the sauce, dude. I couldn't say a word in edgewise. People in my chat were like, blink twice if you need help. Code word pineapple. Like, we'll send help. I'm like, Jesus. He was just saying the wildest things. I don't even remember what he was talking about. To be honest, it was just off the dome stuff all the time, and that was one of the more interesting streams I'd ever done.
Yeah, it's definitely out there. That's when you put a disclaimer in your chat and you pin it. The views of this other streamer have no effect on, or do not relate to anything, I believe. So
you aren't in. That's what happens when you're in content creation. Sometimes people say stuff that you're like, oh boy, I don't want to be associated with that, and that's like, that cancel culture kind of thing that we got going on Twitter. Like that lives there.
Yeah.
That's like that's probably a tab exclusively on
I'm sure.
Twitter is just canceling people. So
But
I don't
there's
know.
a
It's
whole
interesting. It's a fun
subreddit for
ride.
that stuff too. Live stream
Yeah.
fails. That's what that's all about. That's Fish Zoltowski. That's why I don't stream with you no hill. He's online playing Overwatch. So
Better safe than sorry, man.
you know what I'm talking about. So
Better safe than sorry. I feel like we need a separate voice chat in that Discord that says like.
Well, he used to be
streaming.
locked out of the one we're in. So
I know. Well, you need to make another one.
We'll have to create a new one.
Yeah, that's just like it says. It's like streaming, so people know. Hey, you
Right.
join this Discord. Somebody's streaming.
Maybe I'll make that.
Yeah, it's just the story.
Yeah.
That's actually genius.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've joined it and then said something stupid and been like, "Oh wait, are you streaming?"
Yeah.
When games are
I don't like
going
to.
well,
I
Fish
don't like to think before I act. Okay.
Fish has been known to, when things aren't going well, to at least ask the disclaimers. Anybody streaming? Not that he ever says anything bad, but
It's just sometimes it's not me. It's never me.
Right,
It's
yeah,
the people
never
Never
around me.
you.
Yeah.
No, never you.
It's mostly centered around a Moira that we know that constantly goes off on their own and gets flanked with no healing. So it's whatever. I'm at a 7 right now just talking about it.
it's
So
just a third mention of Noah on the podcast.
dude, we don't even play comp anymore. I'm so happy. So happy.
All right, but let's move on to our Who's That Dude segment. Tony, you want to say anything else before we move on?
Nope.
I think that went
Good
well.
questions.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a lot of really good insight, so we appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, I got lost on track there a couple times, but it's all good.
You're good.
Let's move to the next section.
Concise points the whole time, so.
I
All right, so
kept doing that. It's like, come on, let's get it
Dude,
done.
let's get this done. Come on.
I don't think it would have even fucking mattered, dude. I don't even know that I would have seen it. I was up here monologuing, dude.
Just locked
At
in.
one point, you were like this, just talking. Yeah, so I was like, Tony, you gotta. Just, look up, brother. What is down there? Huh? What's down there? Huh? I can't see it. Great.
I'm a weirdo, man. You fucking knew this.
You did
I
great.
know.
You did great.
We're in a locker right next to each other. I get it. You freak. Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Have you tried Grywee's Donuts yet?
Yes. He was our first sponsor.
For a sponsor.
For real?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's the
That's
first
great.
sponsor.
I'm
Dude,
sorry I'm
he's-
cussing. I know you
you're
guys are
good.
trying
No.
not to.
No, it's fine. We
Fuck it.
lost
Sorry
that weeks ago.
What's up, brother?
Fish, you're gonna get us copyrighted.
Yeah. No, Grywee's supposed to actually send me a copy of his logo for us to have on while we're talking, like not on this screen but the screen before.
Like a sponsor screen.
Yeah, like a sponsor screen. He's supposed to email me his logo. He just hasn't done it yet. So,
Dude, if he doesn't, I'll get it and scrub it and clean it and then send it over to you.
I'm down. I'm 100% down. I tried to yoink it
I
off
need
of
more
his,
donuts
off of his Facebook page.
from
But
him.
Dude,
I just-
Canva, love it.
Liz
Sorry,
loves
Fish.
Canva.
all right.
I cut
So-
you off. My bad.
Sorry, nothing new anymore.
So for those of you who've listened to the show before, we played this game. It's just a little trivia game we like to play. It's called Trivia Time. Who's That Dude? Where I randomly select 5 NFL players, and we'll go through, and the guys will ask some questions. It's basically 20 questions. If you guys have ever played that, Guess Who? 20 questions. So their personal best is 1, getting Julian Edelman correct off the rip. Now, this is the first time we've ever actually had visual representation of these graphics. So I have the silhouettes of the players at the bottom of the screen here. What you will see is when they ask a question, you'll see a tally come up. You'll see that for every single one that we go through. What are you doing?
Studying.
Wow. My eyes, man. I can't see
Figure it
too
out.
well.
And you want me to zoom out.
Can you zoom me out, but then zoom the thing in? Brother, I can't see that.
Oh, is that a question?
You can't see anything?
Oh,
For
hold
real?
on now. No, I can see plenty.
Okay.
You see fine. We're good.
All right, so let's start with the first dude here Who's that dude? Tony, since you're our guest, you get the first question.
Is he a current player?
He is a current player. Fish, go ahead.
All right. Is he in the AFC?
Most recently, yes.
Okay.
Is it Danny Dimes?
It's not Danny Dimes.
Wrong conference.
These guys want this to be Danny Dimes so bad.
Hey, don't roll me into him. AFC East.
No, not the AFC East. Sorry, I just saw where this guy's born. He was born in Cincinnati.
David Montgomery.
Good guess, but it's not David Montgomery. But you do also get a question with your guess, so.
Damn, Tony.
But that's a good ass guess off of the Cincinnati comment there.
Cincinnati, eh?
That's the only ties he has here. He was just born here. He never went to college here or anything like that.
Did he go to high school here? In the Cincinnati area?
He did not. He went to Collegiate High School in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Wait, so he didn't go to college here, you said?
He did not go to college here. He was born in Cincinnati.
Or Cincinnati?
He went to high school at the collegiate school in Richmond, Virginia, and then he went to college somewhere. You have to ask me where to get that question.
The last team that he played for, was it one of your favorite teams in the AFC North?
It was in the AFC North, yes, but it was not the Browns.
Oh, so it's one of your actual favorite teams, either
One
the
of his
Ravens,
actual
Steelers, the
favorites.
Bengals. Yeah, 100%. He flip-flops. He flip-flops back and forth.
Yeah.
The
No,
Browns are my
I
only
think
favorite
he's
team. So
primary Bengals, and then Ravens, and then Steelers, and then Browns. No, I think that's
He just ordered a Lamar Jackson jersey last week. I saw him. You don't think I didn't see the little,
Okay,
little
so AFC
scrolling?
Is he an offensive player?
he's an offensive player. Your guys' jokes are hysterical.
They're not jokes when they're real.
Tony, you're up. I can't.
I know.
I can't with these two.
Is he a running back?
He's not a running back.
Is he a quarterback?
He is a quarterback.
Is it Lamar Jackson?
It is not Lamar Jackson.
I know it.
Is it Russell Wilson?
It's Russell Wilson. There he is, boys.
Good job, dude.
Russell Wilson.
Does he still have the locker room?
He does not have the locker room. All right, so
He did, though.
you guys
He
got
did.
8 on that one now. Tony, you guessed this one before the show, so why don't you just take it away?
DeAndre Hopkins. Final answer.
It is DeAndre Hopkins. Look at you,
Wild.
dude.
Wow, you got that by the silhouette?
Yeah.
It's
I mean-
insane.
The dreads kind of give it away, but
My second guess would have been David Njoku.
Fish, my question for you, are you clicked into the stream? Or do you just
Yeah.
have the window on?
I mean, I got it up.
Did
Now?
Did you click the stream so that it's like the big window for you?
Yeah, but I like, yeah.
Okay. Because I'm shocked you can't see anything right now.
I can see a lot of things.
All right, so let's
Not too large
go.
and blurry.
Let's go to Dude 3. Fish, will have you start here since you're being difficult. This one's going to be
He
tough.
current- Oh, okay, cool. Is he a current player?
He's not a current player.
You bastard. Oh, hey, Zach, that rules out Danny Dimes, so we can't guess that one.
Or Sam Darnold. Was his last team in the NFC?
It was not in the NFC.
All AFC team, I guess.
I feel bad for this one, kind of, but not really.
Was their primary color of their logo black?
So most recently, no. He's played for 5 teams.
Okay.
But black was involved in the middle 3. If that helps.
It's just
That was a dumbass question.
You can ask me things like where he went to college, when he was drafted.
yeah. I thought it was great insight. What color? Because I don't think we ever guessed color of the jersey.
No, you have not. You have not.
I thought it had to be like a yes/no.
That's why
A
we
yes,
guess. No, I mean, to a point, and then there's a point where I start feeling bad and I start getting out some pretty good hints.
Start throwing out life rafts.
Like, I'll just give the hint right now. This guy is on the defensive side of the ball.
If you were talking to Roy G. Biv, though.
The fact they hit you with 5 teams. Okay.
Yeah, he was 5 teams. Black was the color of in 3 of them. The first one it was not. The last one it was not. So, defensive player. I did give you guys that.
What year did he retire?
2023. And I don't know if he's officially retired. He's just not played anywhere since 2023. And he was on 2 rosters in 2023.
2 rosters?
2 rosters.
2. Is he a cornerback?
He's not a cornerback.
Is he a defensive end?
He's a defensive end. And Tony's bringing the heat for you guys today.
Okay, calm down.
Someone has to.
Calm down. Did, in 2023, was he part of a team that went to the playoffs?
He doesn't even know.
I don't
See?
know if they went
And
to
he's
the
not telling you to
playoffs.
bring a heat. Was his jersey color black? No, he played for 5 teams. Okay.
Shut up, dude. I don't know if they went to the playoffs in 2023.
I need you to fact check it, man. That's going to determine.
Yes, they lost in the wild card to the Chiefs in 2023. They lost 7-26.
Oh, they
I know it.
lost to the passes.
You say you know it?
Yeah. Is that Von Miller?
It's not Von Miller. It's a good guess, though.
Damn, he was really confident.
Yeah, dude.
Von Miller, he's still playing, isn't he?
Is
Von
he?
Miller is still playing, yeah. He just got released from the Bills.
So is he playing if he was released?
I think he's planning on playing one more year. I don't think he's retired. I mean, this guy hasn't played in 2 years. I don't know if he's retired.
Time to go through the spectrum again and ask for a color of the jersey or the helmet. Try the helmet this time. Or socks.
I
don't remember if I
have
marked
no
Fish's
idea.
question.
You
I
did.
don't know. Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Zoltowski asked me a good one, buddy.
What more? I can't think of anywhere to go from that. I can't think of 2023 who the Chiefs beat in the wild card though.
You can go with divisions, conferences, when he was drafted.
Who went to the Super Bowl in 2023?
Chiefs.
We had Chiefs and who else?
49ers?
Was it the 49ers or the Rams?
No, the Bengals played the Rams.
Yeah.
I guess that was 2 years before.
Right. Wait, 23. Wasn't it the Eagles, Fish?
I think it might have
No,
been the
we,
Eagles.
we went to the 22.
22, 23. Okay, so it's 23, 24.
No,
right?
this would have been
We're talking February of
the 2023
we're talking January
season.
Okay, so 23 ended in 24.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, so it was Chiefs 49ers.
Yeah.
Because I remember that NFC Championship game. I remember it.
What teams were there? What teams were playing? Do you remember?
No, I can't.
Well, I mean, you got to assume it would be the Bills.
Oh, was it the Steelers?
It was not. I'll give you this.
Okay.
I'll give you his last team. The one that he played on against the Chiefs. It was the Dolphins.
Dolphin.
But he only spent half a season there, remember. He started 2023 with the Saints. I don't know if he played for the Saints at all. Ended the season with the Dolphins. You could ask me where he was drafted, where he played the bulk of his career.
Where did he go to college?
He went to college at Canyons in 2007, Fort Scott in 2008, and then South Florida in 2009. So USF must have been where he got his big push to get into the league, because he was, I'll tell you this as well, in 2010 he was a first round pick. Went pick 15. You guys can get this, I promise.
I don't even think he's a real person at this point, dude.
Yeah,
He is a real person.
I don't even know, dude.
Creative player.
Keep asking some questions. Where was he drafted?
I'm trying to think. I just don't know any DNs from that team.
Well, I wouldn't focus on the Dolphins too much. He was only there for a little bit.
Where did he play the majority of his career?
So he played for two teams the majority of his career. He started out with the Giants, then he went to the Buccaneers.
Is it Strahan?
It's not Strahan. Strahan
No,
played all with the
it's-
Giants.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Broski that blew off his fingers, right?
Oh,
What's
the
his
club.
name?
Got
What's his
two
name?
last names?
What's his name? Yep. What's his name?
I just made fun of him the other day.
He walks
What's
around
his
like this.
name? Davi, goodbye.
Wave the Savi goodbye. Great movie.
Are you-
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Incredible.
All right, you guys know who it is, so I'm gonna unveil him now. It's Jason Pierre-Paul.
Oh,
yeah, French.
JPP.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Shit.
All I could think of was Plaxico Burris, who shot himself. And that's the only name that I knew.
Speaking of Plaxico Burress, he just sold his Super Bowl ring for like $285,000, which is
I heard
crazy.
for that money. Huh?
I can't imagine ever selling something like that. All right, next dude. Dude number 4.
Don't make me start.
Zoltowski, kick it off.
It's a current player.
He is a current player.
Oh, looks like Sadio Mane.
Offense? Is he on the offense?
He's on the offense. The silhouettes may have been a mistake.
Well, not for Fish and I. But when Donnie's on the show.
I think it's Sadio Mane. He's a little mohawk
He's
up
over
top.
here thinking it's a soccer player. It's not a soccer player. Also, that's not a faux hawk.
Wrong football, Fish.
Ah,
I think it's Joe Mixon is who I think it is.
It's not Joe Mixon, but he is an offensive player.
So, Taska, what'd you guess?
He's current. He's a current offensive player.
Oh, is he in the NFC?
He is in the NFC. You guys are cooking.
Oh, dude, we're cooking with fire.
You're cooking.
Is he in
Or-
NFC North?
He's not in the
Okay.
NFC North. The cooking has stopped.
We're going down to a low simmer. That's it.
Okay, he's
That's all
fine.
we're doing.
It's better than a
Just browning the onions.
saute. It's a saute.
Yeah, you can tell who cooks
We're
that
getting
now.
up to a rolling boil.
Does he catch the ball?
He does catch the ball. Very well, I might add. Very well, I might add.
You said this is a current player?
Current player, NFC, offensive player, he catches the ball. I feel like there was a 5th question there. I have no idea what it was.
Is he
Oh,
from the
NFC.
NFC East?
And NFC East, he is not. So you have South
What?
or West.
When are we going to get an Eagles player?
Is
in
it
there?
the-
So I'm curious.
South?
It is not the South.
What the fuck?
You guys are going to hit every conference but the one it's in. So, process of elimination, you know he's an NFC West player.
Which
We want to confirm it.
An NFC West pass catcher.
Hmm.
Notice my wording there.
Oh,
Oh,
I think I might know. There's but a silhouette. It doesn't look like Sadio Mane anymore.
shout it out.
Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba?
It's not Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's good.
I'm going back to Sadio Mane,
It's
though.
good
We'll
guess,
take
though.
Sadio.
Hmm.
Notice I said pass catcher, not receiver.
Yeah, Tony, that's a dumb question.
No, dude, because it narrows it down to tight end, wide receiver, running back.
You said that when you said it was the offense, and you eliminated quarterback and running back. You just asked me as a receiver.
No,
I knew the jersey thing. I knew that was a fluke question. I knew it. I was like, "There's no way he's operating at a different level right now."
Oh my
And then when I
god.
looked at you, and goes, "No, he had 5 different teams." Okay.
All right,
you a
guys,
bitch.
you guys can get this one. You guys can get this one. Keep asking
I still think it's Joe Mixon.
it's not Joe Mixon. If it was Joe
turn is
Mixon, I
it?
would have
Whose
unveiled him
whose
already.
line is it, anyways?
It's your turn, so
I
Tasky,
think-
go.
yeah,
Is it my
Zoltanski,
turn?
It's your turn.
He's played for the Cardinals.
He's not played for the Cardinals.
We might also take a shot at a receiver from the other team.
Hmm.
It's not a receiver.
Not a receiver. Cool.
It's a
Thanks,
pass
Tony, for
catcher.
narrowing that down.
Hey.
It is a
I can't.
pass
You're going
catcher.
under false pretenses over there, Chief. That's on you, dude.
That's why I think Tony's question was good. Yes, if he catches the ball, he does. I said he's a pass catcher.
Catcher.
Well, we can catch balls at some point.
Yeah, but
Even the lineman, if you play for the Lions.
linemen have you seen catch touchdowns?
Yeah,
in the
Jared
last
Goff
5
caught a
years?
touchdown pass this year.
Yeah, dude. And you look damn good doing it. So.
I think
Go
we're all
Lions.
focusing on the wrong things here.
I'm just gonna take. Is it CMC?
It's not CMC. Decent guess. Decent guess.
I can't with this
Because
guy.
he looks like him, or because he doesn't look.
He's a running back. That was
Maybe
the guess.
because he's on the same team as CMC.
This is the
Okay.
silhouette.
And he's a pass catcher. And he hits one of these every once in a while.
The George Kittle.
Is that
It's
Brock?
George Kittle.
Is he, he has his fucking hair up.
Yeah, that's what was throwing me off
That's
too.
what's throwing
Oh,
me
no.
off.
I clicked the wrong box.
Oh god.
Nope.
Oh, I clicked
Nope.
the wrong box.
I saw it. I saw
George
it. It's only five.
Kittle. It's George Kittle.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is he
Look at
mistake? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not mistaken. He has a really long hair, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's up
Okay.
right there. I just picked the roster photos because I don't know. If I would have picked an action shot, it wouldn't really have helped you guys at all because everybody's in a
Only if
helmet.
it was
so
Saquon. We know which one you're picking for that
Yeah.
one.
the reverse
It's the
aerial.
Jordan Jumpman.
All right, last dude.
Look how broad the shoulders are. Just pointing it out. Look at the silhouette.
It's a very distinct silhouette, and once you realize who it is,
Looks like Hulk from Brazil. I'll lock that guess in.
it's not a soccer player. I'm gonna go ahead and start with that.
Left leg.
It is not a soccer player.
Diego Costa.
Somebody else start. I can't with this guy.
Did this guy recently come off of injury?
No, this guy's no longer playing.
Okay. See how I got that, Fish?
It's just misleading.
Yeah, then another
Yes.
gave us a sympathy thing. Yeah, that's a dumb question. He no longer is playing
I thought it
anymore.
was Nick Chubb, dude. I thought he was trying to pull one on us. I thought he was trying to slide one in.
It's not his favorite team anymore.
Yeah.
It is my favorite team, but God, they suck. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay, so the last team he played for, was it a playoff team? That year that he left.
Yes. Yes.
What year did he retire?
Some could say he rode off into the sunset.
Mm.
He retired in 2023.
Well, who asked that question? Who are the two Super Bowl teams from there, huh? Who asked that question? This guy.
That was the Bengals Rams Super Bowl. 2022-2023 season.
Bengals, Rams. Zach, I think it's your turn, right?
I just asked a question.
I think it's Fish's turn.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Was he on offense?
He was not on offense.
Wait,
There we go.
so you said it was the Super Bowl in 2023. That year, 22-23.
Yes.
That's Chiefs Eagles, big guy.
Okay. So, well, I digress. It was Bengals Rams.
Okay.
I don't think he played another year after that, but I could be wrong.
So it was either Bengals, Rams rode off into the sunset, meaning that they won, so it'd be someone from the
Can I-
Rams.
Can I
on
take a
defense.
shot?
Take a
You got
shot.
it, Fish.
Take a shot, big guy.
No.
Is it Aaron Donald?
It's Aaron Donald.
Boom.
Look at those
Look
broad
at that.
shoulders on that man.
The brain trust.
There you
We
go,
all
boys.
figured it out together with
We
the
all
power
got
of
it.
friendship.
The brain train. Wait, what?
I did throw you some pretty hefty alley-oops there on Jason
That's on-
Pierre-Paul, but I felt like he needed it.
It's fine.
I felt like he needed it. Okay. So now we'll move on to the draft portion of the show. We will get to our draft here. It is for the biggest sports bus of all time. Let's scroll this down a little bit so it looks better on screen. All right. So what we do here is we like to randomize the draft. So I'm going to go ahead and hit us with that now. Hit our little... We have Tony first, Zoltowski second, Fish third, and I'm bringing up the rear.
Take the third pack.
And if one of you fine gentlemen can type this into the doc as well, just in case I crash and burn doing this.
I got you there, big dog.
Thanks, buddy.
Who said Tony?
Tony,
Boy, who?
Zoltowski, you, me. Tony, you were on the clock.
You know, I think he may not be, the biggest bust to go 1-1, but I'm going to have to say Johnny Manziel.
He was definitely on my list. And that was more of a personal pick than anything. So, Johnny football. Yeah, this is going to be scuffed while I'm doing this, but that's okay. All right.
It's a good pick.
Good pick.
Second, we got Zoltowski. And this, just so you know, this is sports bus across all leagues. So, you don't have to pigeon-toe to just football. You can go wherever you want. So,
All leagues. Oh, man. Well,
or you can
I'm
just
gonna
pick
go
football. I
with-
got about 40 quarterbacks I can pick here. So,
You sure do. But I'm going to pick a linebacker, actually.
okay.
So I remember watching a documentary on this guy. The Boz, Brian Bosworth.
It's a
Got
great pick
kicked
as
out of
well.
Oklahoma for steroids and then was drafted by Seattle in the supplemental draft for a 10-year, $11 million contract in 1987. So I'd wonder what that's worth now.
About 300 million.
2 years later, he was retired.
The Boz. Man, I remember him. He was...
Boz.
I think I've seen that.
With the
documentary
cowboy
as well.
collar?
Yep. Yep.
I had
He had a
one of
really
those.
good stint in
Hated it. Couldn't look up.
Adam Sandler movie.
Which one?
Longest Yard. Wasn't he in that one for a minute?
More than likely. God, it's been so long since I've seen that movie, but
I'll give it a goog.
that's a banger.
Great movie. The mullet. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead with my first pick, partially because I watched him most of his career when he played at Alabama. And I
Okay.
remember Mom and watching him and how incredible he was in college to just being an absolute bust. I'm going to go ahead and go with Trent Richardson. That man couldn't find a hole if there was no lineman out there. Like it's bad how his talent just didn't transition. Kind of nuts, to be honest. Kind of nuts.
Oh, this is a draft from biggest sports bus of all time. And we have 2 Cleveland Browns in the first 3 picks.
I've got a few more on my list.
Oh man, what a bummer. All right, well, I'm gonna go. My first pick. You mentioned the name Draft Bus, and this guy always comes to my mind. I'm going with Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
he had all the intangibles in college. He just didn't want to do it, and you've heard all the stories about how the Raiders coaching staff gave him a playbook. I think it either had a DVD or $100 in it, and he never found the DVD or the $100, and it was like the guy's just not putting the time in. So similar story to Johnny Manziel there, if you ever watched that Untold documentary about Johnny Football. So
yeah, Johnny Football is a good one.
Jamarcus Russell's my first pick there. And then for my second pick, I'm unsure if I want to go recent or back in time. I think I got to go back in time because this man was selected at 1-1 by the San Diego Chargers. And he was picked before Peyton Manning. I'm going with Ryan Leaf, and I've heard a lot of interviews about Ryan Leaf that he's actually, done on other podcasts, and he's talked about his issues with substance abuse, sports gambling, all that stuff, and that all probably played a huge factor in his career. So I'm going with Jamarcus Russell first, and then Ryan Leaf second. And then Fish, I believe you're up.
Good. I'm going to go ahead and go out of the realm of football. I'm going to go ahead with basketball, and there's a few of them out there that we could touch on being crazy big busts. I'm going to go with Kwame Brown. When the Lakers drafted him first overall, that guy just did not pan out. And unfortunately, it seems like the Lakers have had a few of those over the course of the years.
Yep.
Some big guys who have incredible talent, possible franchise-changing talent, and just either laziness kicks in or, again, transitioning from college to pros just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that was for Brown. So big gamble there on that one. Did not pay off.
It's a good pick, definitely. Zoltowski.
I am also going to go into basketball just because I looked some of these up, and I remember hearing about him when I used to kind of watch college basketball. It was Greg Oden for the Trailblazers. Now, and it's more or less too because injury was his big thing. It wasn't
that's
really
a thing.
Performance.
Yeah,
but I mean, you still think you waste a number one pick. I mean, it's not his fault he got hurt, but it's still technically a bust because he never played in the league.
Yeah, I would say that would be a borderline one. That's just, I mean, he wanted to play, he loved the game, but obviously injuries, take a gamble like that. But
yeah,
that's one of the ones where it's just like, man, if him, Carlos Boozer, and a few others, if they didn't get hurt, Derrick Rose, what they could have been. That's just one of those unfortunate ones.
Dude, maybe that'll be another draft we do. Most heartbreaking sports injuries.
I think that's
a good idea.
That's a real good one. I know. Yeah. It's because Tony's here. Everybody's thinking smarter.
Dude, Greg Oden, I remember watching him at Ohio State. He looked like he was 77 years old, like in the face. He's always looked like an old man.
Yeah. No,
It's a great pick.
He's got that Benjamin Button, but like aged fast. It's aged faster.
All right. Tony. You're up, my guy.
I have one. It's not pleasant.
Means it's a Bengal.
No. It's worse.
Oh, no.
A tale of murder, perhaps.
Oh, God.
Murder Mystery Podcast.
Terry Ruggs, the third, 2020 draft. Drafted first round, 12th overall by the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's a great.
And that ended in tragedy. Rest in peace to all involved, of course, but he's got to be mentioned.
Absolutely. That's a great pick.
That's a huge
Man,
one.
he wasn't even on my radar. I completely forgot about him, dude.
Dude, yeah. So on the snake, keeping it within football. Probably Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Really, that whole 2021 quarterback draft had some duds in it, some really big ones. So I think I'm gonna go with Trey Lance. He was set up to be king, and he just folded.
Dude, the Niners traded like I think 3 first-round picks to move up to get him too. That's insane. And he just never panned out. Is he still with Dallas?
Yes,
No.
he played. Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's with
behind
Dallas.
Cooper Rush.
Jeez.
I think he saw some snaps this year when they were getting blown out, even with Cooper Rush back there. They needed somebody.
Dude, whatever
Took a
his
fan of this one.
what was his rookie year, Tony? 2021?
2021, yeah.
2021, Trey Lance and Madden, you trade for him in your franchise. He was a dog. He was the best quarterback in Madden. So at least he'll
Dude,
have
by
that
the
to hang his
numbers.
hat on. Yeah,
By the
He's-
numbers, he was good.
he was a beast.
IRL. Mer.
All right, Zoltaska,
Oh,
what's your next pick?
Now it's up for me. Yeah, we'll go back to 21. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MILF Hunter himself.
That's wild.
I said that just to get the reaction from Fish.
he he was on my list too. I was it's kind of a toss up. I mean, he did go to the Jets,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he didn't have an opportunity, and then he's banging people's moms, so I get it. Yeah.
I mean, legend a little bit, just not at football.
He went to another franchise where quarterbacks go to die.
It's like Alex Moran, just playing backup in Blue Mountain State. So
A great show. I need to rewatch that.
they are bringing back,
I saw that.
bringing it back. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. But
That Castle's
My-
entirely too big now. He's gonna come back
Yeah.
to be like a coach or something.
it has to be. It has
Yeah.
to be.
I don't know. He was pretty dumb in the show.
Yeah, I could see him coming back though. But
Yeah.
my pick has a toss up because Tony sparked up an interesting one, and I'll probably go with this one. I'm gonna go with Justin Blackman.
Ooh.
Another guy, and Tony, this is your fault because of the Henry Ruggs thing. Started thinking of some absolute duds, and I remember this guy just always on and off the field issues, got into substance abuse, stuff like that. They spent a 5th-round pick on him, so kind of hoped to get some type of return, and it was the complete opposite. Not only on and off the field issues, but was unable to produce like he would in college or did in college. So kind of a big of a bust there on that one. Jags are in some trouble nowadays too still. So
For my last 2 picks, I'm going to go with a couple Cleveland boys. One
Naturally.
being a quarterback for the Browns, so I'm going 3 quarterbacks in a row. I'm going to go with, and this is the guy that a lot of people thought was going to be the guy that was going to bring us out of poverty. I'm going with Brady Quinn. He was
Good shout.
very highly respected coming out of Notre Dame, and it almost seemed like the prophecy was being foretold. We had selected a different player early, I believe. Man, was that was Joe Thomas we took with that 3rd pick. We took Joe Thomas with the 3rd pick, and then we had another pick at 22 where we took Brady Quinn, and we were like, oh man, we've got our offensive future right there.
Yeah.
We were halfway right and halfway wrong. So
wasted Joe Thomas's career.
yeah, wasted a lot of players' careers. So I'm going to Brady Quinn. He was pick 22 of the first round. So it's a lot of interesting things. The Browns have picked 3 quarterbacks at that spot, being Johnny Manziel, Brady Quinn, and the old man, Brandon Weeden. So I think pick 22 does not work out for us very well.
I was hoping Brandon Weed would squeak in there on this podcast.
He's not my last selection. My last selection is actually going to be a Cavaliers player. I'm going with Anthony Bennett. So he was selected very highly by the Cavaliers. I'm not sure if it was first pick. No, he was a number 1 pick, and he was supposed to be the guy that would like either be the bridge after LeBron or help LeBron win some titles, but he just never panned out ever. He was, I don't know if it was an effort thing, if his game just didn't translate to the league at that point, but Anthony Bennett is my last pick here.
That's a good pick. He was on my list. But also inspires someone that I'm going to stay in the basketball realm. He was drafted number 1 overall. This one hurts a little bit more. It's because he was drafted number 1 overall with the Sixers. The guy's physique was something they were saying very similar to Magic Johnson at point guard. Had all the talent and praise to be the next Magic, to really turn this franchise around. We were only missing one piece, and it was a point guard. I mean, fuck this guy. But Ben Simmons is an absolute dud. The way he has schemed teams out of money to then just not take the shot, or be really lazy in the playoffs or at practice or anything. Guy was just absolutely abysmal and is still railing teams over with guaranteed contracts. Because, I mean, all it takes is one switch for him to flip it, and it could be something great. But I think teams are realizing that's way in the past, and it's just never going to produce. So, Ben Simmons.
I had a feeling he'd be a pick of yours this draft.
Yeah. Eagles don't really have that many busts, so it's tough to pick from that.
Howie Roseman.
Oh, that guy.
What a guy.
Zach, any hockey duds?
Yeah, I got a couple here. I'm just trying to decide which one, and I think I'm gonna go with Mr. Patrick Stefan. PATRIK STEFAN.
Oh, he's definitely a hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played for 8 seasons in the NHL, only netted 188 points, was taken first overall in 99. So that's a big
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And
that's a big deal.
He missed an empty netter. Apparently that, as this article says, any of our grandmothers could make. I'm gonna not available anymore. But I the name sounds familiar from playing the old NHLs. But 8 seasons, 188 points. That's, I think, what we talked about. Gretzky got 216 and 1.
Yeah, but I mean that's Gretzky,
Right.
Hey, I might get to see Ovi break his record, man.
He's 13. Last I read, he's 13 goals away.
13 goals away. He had a Hattie the other night.
Yeah,
he's just. I mean,
I hope he does it against Crosby.
No, I want him to do it against Columbus because I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Be there.
For the story, I want it to be against Crosby.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's fine.
Because fuck the
I
Penguins.
get that.
I just bought a Squiz. I'm going to launch it over there.
Fuck the Penguins. Go Red Wings, though. Stadium Series on Saturday. Watch it on TV. Look for me. I'll be there. I'll be in that dreaded horseshoe, wearing my Michigan hat and my Detroit jersey. You best believe it.
They've been rumored to start fights there.
They also
it's more on the field, but
they also tell little kids about Santa Claus.
Rude.
Bastards.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Tennessee 5-year-old fan. Told him Santa Claus isn't real. Santa Claus is very real.
That's
assholes.
Horrible. All right, Tony, you're closing us out here, buddy.
I'm just going to keep it all football all the way. Really good in college. Zoltowski and I didn't care for him at all because he played for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Jeff Okuda, 2020 draft, first round, 3rd overall. Supposed to be this lockdown corner. Supposed to be the guy.
Yeah, I remember him because he fucking went to the Lions and he sucked.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, Jeff Okuda.
I think he still plays. Yeah, he plays for the.
He got traded to Atlanta for a 5th-round pick.
I see.
That's like a song and a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, he plays for the Texans right now.
Yep. I see that.
Oh, even Atlanta got rid of him.
My man has moved around a little bit.
Man. Let's hope he figures it out.
I hope he doesn't. Go blue.
He's only 26. You never know. He could.
Can't wait to see what JJ does next year.
Dude, yeah.
We have a lot of honorable mentions for this one, I'm sure.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Tim Couch.
I
I'm
could fill
surprised
out
that
this
name-
entire draft with Browns quarterbacks that have just been, swings and misses. Also, other Browns players. Shout out Justin Gilbert. Anyways.
Yeah, a couple Lions players, too. I almost picked Joey Harrington.
Yeah. Boys, that was a good show. We're at about 145, so about where we were last week. But, Tony, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming on. This was a very good experience, you being our first guest, so we appreciate it very much. And, where can people find you?
Yeah, no. Appreciate you having me guys on. Appreciate you guys having me on. Really good time. Really, really good discussions about the space, and I just thank you guys for bringing me out of retirement for a night.
For a night. I thought it was permanent.
If only for a spell.
I already tweeted
beautiful
it.
Prince.
Damn. Let me get that back. Get that back.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. You're welcome to come on anytime. If you want to come on again during the season, more than welcome. If
Absolutely.
you want to come on and talk soccer again anytime.
I really enjoyed that bit. I could be down a little bit. I could be down a little bit. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that part.
We'd be down for it. So, all right. Well, that's where we're gonna end the show. You can follow us everywhere at Game Time Gents, and then Game Time Gents Pod on TikTok. Still a little sour about that one, but here we are. So yeah, if you guys don't have anything else to say, I'm gonna say goodbye to the people.
Good here. Another good show. Appreciate it, guys.
Great show.
Yep. Everybody, always say GG. Thanks for being a gent. We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony.